All right, I've done a roto. This particular one isn't finished yet, but I just want to show how I would show it off in a video if I wanted to show the roto shapes that I did. I can see them here in the viewport as variously colored shapes, but I cannot render them like this. One very quick way of doing it would be to just put a grade onto your original footage and just gain that down to turn it black. We'll turn off the overlay. And now I have, I've got the colored shapes playing here in the viewport, so I could do a screen capture of this. I could run a screen capture software, and then I would have an element that I can use in editing to overlay over my footage. So that's one way of doing it. If I wanted to do it all in Nuke, let me just remove that grade again. I wouldn't know if there's a way that I can salvage all these colors, but I can certainly salvage the outlines. So this is my roto here. This is the alpha channel. Let me just turn off the roto shape. So we've got that. We've got a node in Nuke called edge detect. If I bring that up, and if I plug that into my roto shape, and then I look at the result, the edge detect works currently on the RGB. So it detects edges in the RGB, but I can also set it to work on the alpha channel, and now it detects the edges in the alpha channel. So far, so good. This is not a very good way to display your roto yet, because all the shapes have been merged, because it really just detects the edges from the alpha. What I want to do is I want to bring this over into the RGB, so I'm going to use a shuffle node, and I'm going to shuffle this into the RGB. I can take the result here of my edge detect and then just shuffle the alpha into the red, green, and blue. And now I don't have to look at the alpha anymore. I can look at the RGB channel and it's still here. The reason I want to have it in the RGB channel is so I can do a color grade. For example, if I wanted that to be red, I could go here and make it red or whatever. Right, but the problem is that I don't yet see the individual shapes. So I'm going to quickly go back to my roto, and I'll have to make a change in my roto. I do not want to change my painfully created roto node here, so I'm going to copy that, paste it over to the left, and do all this work here on the left with a copy of my roto node, so that I am not accidentally in danger of damaging my existing one. And that's because I want to go into the roto node now, and I want to highlight every single one of my shapes, except for the bottom one. Don't need the bottom one, but all the others get highlighted. And I've got annoyingly the vertex numbers turned on, so let me just turn that off. We can also turn off the vertex ticks. We don't need to see those. And now that I have every single shape selected, let us look at that in the alpha channel here of the actual roto. There we go. I'm just looking at the roto here in the alpha channel. With every single shape selected, these transfer modes here, which by default are set to over, I'm going to click this and change them all to difference. That way, if two nodes are sitting on top of each other, two white ones, there is zero difference, and therefore it turns black. And that gives us a nice black and white change over wherever these roto shapes overlap. So now I run my edge detect on that. Voila. We detect all these edges of all those overlaps, and we can color that all in a certain color if we wanted to, and then we can composite that over our footage. So if we wanted to show this, I'm just going to merge. Here's my original footage. Maybe I'll just make a copy of that as well, just to have things clean off to the side here. I've got my original footage, and then I can put that over the top. If I wanted to fill it with a color, I still have my original roto here, so I could, if I wanted to say I wanted to have a red color over the top, I could use what we've done here with the key mix already, right? This whole key mix thing can happen over here. So I'll go key mix, my footage, my red, or whatever color you like, and as mask, my original roto. So I can now mix that down if I wanted to show a bit of an overlay, and then maybe this grade should not be red, but maybe let's make it yellow. And just for fun of it, I'm actually going to darken the footage a little bit, gain that down, and I now have a way of rendering out all that work that I did with rotoscoping.